Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 12 of Installation Route, where we have huge modular machines in our base now. So these are the ones we set up last video, and the resource reactor here does still slightly consume more power than we produce, combined with the fact that if it ever becomes underpowered, it resets its progress to 0%, means that I do have to periodically flip the switch, let the thing refill its buffer. It fills its buffer up in like 10 seconds, refill the pipe buffer and turn it back on. So I want to start today off by fixing that problem. Actually, rewind even a little more. I made a statement last video that I didn't think these upgrades worked because like they don't, it doesn't show any uses in JEI. And when we look at the modular machines here, aside from the recycler, when we look at these other modular machines, like mousing over upgrades doesn't do anything. Apparently, the modular machines mod doesn't actually tell you what upgrades do by default. It's kind of like the pack author gets to put text in this upgrades field, should they feel like it, to tell you what the upgrades do. So instead of the text going here, they actually went on to the tooltips of the items. So the these upgrades actually do what they say they do. So the equalizer makes the machine process, two operations in parallel. Likewise, the chance upgrade makes it not consume, they do what the text says. The equalizer does also have an effect of making the machine draw 1.25x the energy, so like a little bit more energy. But the awkward thing is that nowhere here in game is it possible to figure out where the upgrade goes. You can kind of guess, like in this resource reactor, right, this block of steel here kind of feels like where the upgrade should go. I suspect in this machine it goes in this air spot here. I couldn't tell you where it goes here. Probably it replaces that block of... Oh no, this one it tells us you replace the ashen bricks with Pathfind blocks. But yeah, anyways, what this means is that these upgrades actually do something, which means you should probably use some. For now, I'm thinking about putting the chance upgrade into the resource reactor here, because the resource reactor, let's see if we can find it, some of its uses, oh come on, how do I see the uses of the resource reactor? Modular machines JEI. But anyways, the resource reactor makes some recipes that consume items. It doesn't affect the fluid or energies, unfortunately, so it just means that for any item input, you get a little bit of extra bonus output. So for some of these that are, they're not expensive, but they're non-trivial, you just get extra output, which is nice. Unfortunately, it doesn't affect the production of fluids, so, you get the same amount of fluid. We have 53 millibuckets of primordial energy. I'm going to put definitely that same upgrade here on the replication construct, though, because this thing also consumes relatively valuable items in its processes, and if it didn't consume the item, well, wouldn't that be nice? All right, so those are the couple things that I want to do first then. Improve our power a little bit, and I'm going to do that just by adding one more magmatic generator. So right now we have 4. If we put a 5th one, I guess I would love to put a 5th one there, but it can't fit. It's okay, we can squeeze it in. Put one more magmatic dynamo to generate power, to fix our power issue, and then put the machine upgrades into our modular machines to make them more efficient. For the dynamos, I settled for making 2 more dynamos. It means that we have to upgrade another dynamo, which means 4 more pieces of aluminum, but it also means that I get to put the excitation field limiter augment back in. And it's good to have that because it dramatically reduces the fuel wastage, which is good, especially because I'm going to be upgrading these to resident tier at some point. And when we go to, I guess when we go to resident tier, we get 5 more upgrades. So that's somewhat irrelevant, but whatever. Yeah, we get that. We just have that upgraded now to produce more power. Secondly, I made our reactor chance upgrades, so let's test it out. It's a little hard to tell if it actually does anything here. I mean, the fact that it says it's a valid multi-block means that it accepts the upgrade here in place of the steel, so that's good. I looked again at the config for this machine. It says it's the block underneath. So again, if the machine accepts it, yeah, then that's probably right. Lastly, for this one, it says it is the block 2 blocks above the controller. So I was told that you could shift right click, whoopsies, hardened glass to pick it up. Didn't want to pick that guy up though. Something I just recently learned. So cool. This now, structure found none. Okay, so maybe we can't put it here. I'm gonna double check. I swear the thing said that we were allowed to put upgrades in this one. The config for the recycler does say that the chance upgrade is allowed to go at 2 blocks above the controller. Is exactly where this is, but it doesn't accept it, so whatever. I'm not going to stress it. Let's just double check, make sure this still works. Yeah. We'll try one more thing. Maybe it's 3 blocks above? But we probably won't run this machine again for quite a while, so let's not worry about it. You're good. Cool. So yeah, with that out of the way now, I kind of want to sanity check, make sure this thing actually works. So let's grab a little bit more of this dark steel. Black steel? Black iron. Jeez. If we make a few more of these upgrade bases, these are useful for other things as well, like the resident upgrade kit. So we're going to use them. Without any upgrades, I think it's 4-1, right? What's this? Oh no, we're not going to make those. All right, so yeah, without any upgrades, it's 4-1. So we expect there to be more than 8 outputs eventually when it's done. Let's see if that's actually the case. Out of a guaranteed yield of 8 and then a theoretical 33% increase, we got 6 procs. So we got lucky, and that proves definitively that it does at least work, which is good to know, because there's actually a interesting thing in the config. It seems like the upgrade for these ashen bricks, there's a sign difference. Basically, these ashen bricks say that they have a 0.04 chance modifier, and this block has a negative 0.33% modifier, and I wasn't sure which side was wrong, and I think it's a sign for this one that's wrong. So we're not going to replace those because those, if I'm reading the config right, seems to make it use more items, not less. But anyways, that's why I wanted to run the test to see which one was right. And now we have tons of these. So with these, we can now start looking into making resident upgrade kits. The only thing in here we don't have a whole lot of already, well, energy cores. We don't get an easier way to make these with this machine, do we? No, I think we still have to go through all the steps to make energy cores. But yeah, we can make these bases. We can make the Enderium through, we make the blend. So this is now pretty easy, and let's get at least some of our dynamos upgraded. With our newly made Enderium, we can make these resident upgrade kits. Nice. For now, I'm going to use fuel catalyzers. These give not more power, but more fuel efficiency in our dynamos, because we just simply don't need the power for now. So just for comparison, it's 4,800 as opposed to 1,800 max output, and that's just, that's a lot more power than we can use. So, instead of wasting energy, let's just not waste energy and increase the fuel efficiency. I think each one gives 15% fuel efficiency. There's nothing here that actually tells us. But yeah, if each one gives 15% fuel efficiency, 4 of them give 60% more energy. So we get 60% more energy per unit fuel. Let me out. Which is nice. All right, another thing I want to do, we still have 2 more. We'll figure out where to upgrade those. I don't think it's worth upgrading this anymore because the furnace here isn't actually the bottleneck. It's my water production rate, and this produces enough mana as it stands. So I don't know. I'm sure these will get used somewhere. I feel like I shouldn't have 1 extra. The fact that I have 1 extra probably means well, hold on, there's 6 dynamos, 6 times 4. No, I made 25 for some reason. Apparently, to me, 6 times 4 is 25. Anyways, another nice thing that the Enderium gets us are upgraded requesters. So in most places, it doesn't matter. Why can't I make it? In most places, it doesn't matter where or what level our requester is. However, specifically in these terminals, it does very much matter. Can I do this? No. Because in the terminal here, the requester determines how many items we get per pull. So if we look at this one, this is upgrade from this. So they're both 0.5 extraction rate, 64 stack size. So I guess it's not that big an upgrade. It's just there's a speed boost from 2x to 3x. So it means that from the time we request items to the time we actually get them, the delay is much smaller. And I'm all for waiting less between requests and receives. They're probably especially relevant on this terminal where the items have to travel a longer distance. For the requesters like here, right, that are for passive work, it doesn't matter. The items get here plenty fast, and we're never waiting on it. So I'm not going to bother upgrading those because Enderium, while we have a fair bit of it, is not free. Moving on, our next quest here, the finishing moves, is we've already made the Enderium, so now let's make the Gaia spirits. These, it's not that bad. Mana powder is free, Ender Air is free, Iridium I have plenty of, Runes of Mana we can super easily craft. So it's really just these chunks of Falfheim, which take a millibucket of primordial energy each. Oh, this is made in the resource reactor, so it doesn't even use up primordial. Then yeah, we can craft a ton of this. So the question is, how much of it do we actually need? Dandelion. This is what makes flowers, isn't it? Why is this gated so late? Wait, no, Dandelion, this is what does the game of life to make mana, never mind. So I guess we need, I assume it's in here somewhere. I think we only need 3 of these ingots to beat the game, like to get out of the box. I don't know what content is after the box. I know we can go to the overworld, but I don't think there's actually any overworld content yet. Could be wrong, but let's just make like a small handful, maybe a quarter stack of it. I definitely want the Flugel tiara because I want to be able to fly. Besides that, all these Britannia toys aren't very useful when you don't have mobs to fight. That's kind of most of the point of these Britannia toys, are to make fighting mobs easier. These ingredients here should make at least, well, will make at least 16 pieces of the what's it called? Gaia spirits, although it's entirely possible that we get extras out of it, right? Because there's a, what is it, like a 33% chance that stuff isn't consumed. For multiple input recipes, each item appears to be rolled individually, so it makes it kind of impossible to work in exact amounts all the time. You never know which procs are going to happen and which procs aren't. But end of the day, it results in more stuff, so whatever. That input bus is the size of the moon. There's plenty of slots in it to go around. As you can see, the processing is done, and we have run out of one of the inputs, these things. But I already switched the thing back onto making scrap already, so or using scrap. But out of 16 inputs, we got 21 sets of output. That is value. Alright, so now the last quest, to make the reality breaker. In this recipe, there's really only 3 real items, and those are the 3 ultimate ingots. Everything else in here, like, we could have made 1,000 times over decades ago. Well, I guess except this. But the ultimate ingot is, of course, everyone's favorite. One of everything. But it's actually not nearly as bad as it looks, because like at first when I was looking at this recipe, right, I thought it like consumed the lead axe, but turns out the energy of lead axe is just a cadmium ingot. So yeah, looking at this thing, there's really very little in here we don't already have or can make. In fact, let's just start at the top. Trivial. Everything up to here so far is trivial. We have to make a couple flowers. That's no big deal. Milk, I guess we can craft it. So we can do that. Poison, we probably have some poison potatoes. All right, let's start with rosin and tar then, because these take a little while. I think this comes from, we can get it from chopping wood in a resin funnel, but I think we can just get it from putting extract it directly from trees, right? Tar, on the other hand, comes from processing oil sands, gets us some, and then processing the bitumen that comes from oil sands that they can get us more. So, alright, let's keep those in mind. Moving on, we have all of this stuff. Fluxed aqua chow. I've never used this. I have no clue what it's for. Wait, I guess it's for like fishing. Nah, that is trivial to make. Flux vital grow. Already have that. All of the runes we can make. We need broken wires. Let's hang on to a few of these then, because right now I'm auto recycling broken wires. So we just have to not recycle a couple of those. We've already made all these matters. Where does granite come? I guess we absolutely need an igneous extruder to make granite. All right, fine. If you insist. And I think shulker, we have to very briefly run some shulker instabulation apparatuses. That's a mouthful. But yeah, there's really nothing in here that we can't do yet. It'll take a lot of putting stuff together, like literally grabbing stuff out of inventories and putting them in another inventory. That's kind of why I hate these recipes. But enough complaining. Let's get to work to make these ingots. I think I'm gonna make 6 just to be on the safe side. Maybe 8. Obviously 3 are needed for the reality breaker, but it's like there's other stuff. I don't know what pile of money's for. Doesn't seem to do anything yet, and like I don't know how to make liquid money. So I think that's as far as I can tell, it's a not yet completed feature, but I could be wrong. And then like again, these toys, meh. But if it happens, we need, maybe let's make 7. Who knows? Maybe we need a galactic potato going forward. But yeah, we don't need a lot, or a dragon egg. That's probably more useful. I don't know. In any event, let's get started on that process. First though, 1 flugel tiara. So this goes in bubble slots, and it just gives us limited creative flight. You see these little dots in the corner, like wing-like things? They deplete over time, and then while you're flying, and then they replete while you're landed. Another thing I want to make is we just upgrade our sojourner's sash to I want this one, the globetrotter sash. There we go. And then this is just an upgraded version of it. It makes us run, thought it made you run faster, but it gives you an extra jump height, and I think it reduces your fall damage taken. Yeah, although maybe that's just a flugel tiara. The flugel tiara might just turn off fall damage altogether. What's the most we can fall in this case? Well, in any event, we're not taking fall damage anymore, which is good. As I thought, resin can be extracted from trees. So an arboreal extractor, optionally with Vital Grow, gets resin from trees, and then that sends it into this machine, which turns the resin into tar, I believe. Yes. You get more naphtha if I use a reflex column, but it doesn't affect the tar. So I'm just using the secondary chance augments to try to get more, well, secondaries. Because I don't really, oopsies, I don't really care for the naphtha that comes out. That's not particularly useful at this juncture. All right, so there we go. That'll make rosin for us. The process of making tar is similar. Turns out we can't make oil sand. We can only make oil shale, which produces flint byproduct. So we make this in a fluid agitator, mix some stuff together, get the oil shale, and then we can melt that into crude oil. So I've already melted it, and then we can fractioning still that. Once again, I don't care for the fluid byproduct. If you care, like if you're actually processing crude oil, there's absolutely no reason not to use the reflex column, because that gives you 1-to-1, whereas without it, you just lose 500 or 50 millibuckets of naphtha for no reason. And since you probably, if you're processing it for fuel, intend to process the naphtha down to refined fuel, once again, it makes no sense not to have a reflex column. But in this case, because I'm only after the tar, doesn't matter. All right, so there's 8 pieces of tar. I made myself another, well, an igneous extruder, thinking, I have to use it to make the granite. That goes into here. And then when I was looking around for a place to put it, I was like, yeah, I'll put it right here next to my igneous extruder. Oopsies. Turns out I already had one. After probably upwards of half an hour of just picking stuff up out of the system, there were a few components that needed to be crafted. One of the weirdest was a broken wire. Most of the machines that break wires almost never give you a broken part. Like the return rate is awful on these. In fact, some of the wire consuming machines have a 0% chance to give you the wire back. I'm also apparently short 2 lapis. So yeah, that was one of the hardest ones to do. I think I ordered a bunch of circuits. I have like 200 plus circuits. That's where I got most of my broken wires from, because the machine that breaks circuit, or that makes circuits, has a chance to break wires. Besides that, everything else was there were funny that the broken part was a hiccup in all of this. But there's a few items that don't stack, so here's the rest of the bits and bobs. But there's number 1. Oh no, I've done a bad thing. Get back on the table. Anyways, yeah, we just have to craft the rest of them, and the milk not stacking was a problem. Also, I think I put something back on here that doesn't belong on here. Put the ingots back in. It's a disaster. I finally got everything back into the table, so I think I've learned my lesson. Don't have JEI import the recipe. That doesn't go well. Almost done. And where'd my milk go? Was it like, how did it end up in that slot? Who knows? Uh-oh. Oh no, that's 8. 8 is the right number. So I guess I put some extra enderium in there. Whatever. So those are 8 ultimate ingots. And then I've set up this crafting table already, which should make... Ta-da! The reality breaker creates a rift between the void dimension and the home world. The ability can be used on right-click. Buys to make some mobility gear and create a flight. Yada, yada, yada. Alright, so I think... Ta-da! With this, we can, for one, break out of the box. Get me... Oh no, wow, even the reality breaker cannot break us out of the box? We're still stuck in the box? Come on, man. Oh, it can't even break the riveted sheet metal. Alright, well at least, can we like get back to here if I use this? Can we set a waypoint? There's not even a map mod in here, is there? Well, hopefully this doesn't break the game. Take me away. Alright, we are now in the overworld. And yeah, I knew the overworld generation was a little bit strange, so I think that's why they recommend creative flight to get around here. Electric garbage, what is this? Hello? We're probably lagging a bit. We need stage overworld. I think I have to claim this quest. So this will activate the last part of the game, which gives us all of the, like, it unlocks a whole bunch of items, all the open computers stuff. I don't know. I'm gonna look around a bit, but there's some challenges here. I'm not terribly interested in doing most of these. So let me take a look, but this might be the end. I'm not sure if there's anything else that I wish to do. Like, a lot of these challenges are just... Here, let me show you. Am I gonna do this? Heck no. Not a chance. This isn't the type of stuff that's fun for me. But if there's anything... Like, I'm down to explore the overworld if there's a reason to do so. It looks like making it to the overworld has unlocked the lore of the pack. I don't know why we didn't get this at the beginning, but it sounds like, I'll leave this here for a bit so you can read it for yourself. But the gist seems to be that something terrible has happened in the overworld, and the world has been destroyed. We were somehow shunted into the box with we are the last hope of humanity, and we have now worked our way out of the box, and we are now in the destroyed overworld where we are to rebuild, and like bring technology back. Woohoo! But that part of the pack doesn't exist yet. So we have access to the overworld, but there's really nothing here. Like, all the ores here are identical to the ones that we get in the void world, with the exception of this electric garbage stuff. But even this is just like if you want to play with open computers, and I don't. So I think what we're gonna do here is wrap up this pack here. I kind of expected a bit more content to it, but hey, so it is. We've done what there is to do. Now, I know the pack author is working on a overworld part of the pack where you do stuff with like mine colonies and stuff. I've never played with the mine colonies mod. Doesn't terribly interest me, but I will take a look again after updates have been released. So I think we'll wrap up this series here, but it might not be gone for good. Perhaps in a couple months, you know, I don't know how long it'll be before the update's out, but at some point we might revisit this and see what Mind Colonies has to offer. I know very little about the mod besides that it has to do with like NPCs. It's like an expansion on the vanilla village system. So yeah, we'll see. But that's it for installation route. Sorry for the slightly sudden, and I wasn't quite expecting it to end so suddenly, but hey, here we are. This was all things considered, I think it was a pretty fun pack. I think we can go back now, right? Yeah. This is my first time using this factory tech mod, and you know, I'll be honest, the factory tech was a little bit hit and miss. Lots of misses. I don't regret playing with it, but I probably won't go out of my way to try to find another pack that is heavily focused on factory tech. The idea of working in the box, though, it's my first time being space constrained, and yeah, we made good use of our, well, somewhat good use of our space. So that was an interesting concept. I more or less like that. Relatively heavy emphasis on Britannia in the pack. That's, I love Britannia. That's always good fun. But yeah, let's see. What else was unique to this pack? The way there was no energy storage. I don't know. That I'm not the biggest fan of, but it added a little bit of challenge. I guess we had to make more power. Yeah. But yeah, all things considered, I think this pack was fun and enjoyable. Not, it's not competing for best of all time, but it was fun and I don't regret playing it. So that's good. As for what's coming next, I hadn't even considered it because I seriously expected there would be like 3 or 4 more episodes of this series left. So who knows? I think this video will be coming out on like a Tuesday or something. So if I come up with something, we might start end of this week. If not, it'll be early next week. In the meantime, I will continue to be playing Omnifactory on stream. So even if there's no, daily 9 a.m. videos, whatever, you can come check me out 6 p.m. Pacific time, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays for Omnifactory streams. So yeah, I hope to see you there. Thanks for hanging around, guys, and see you in the next series. Good night.